Hi, my name is Isabelle Brackstone. Welcome to Bermuda and welcome to the Lili Bermuda Perfumery. I'd like to invite you to a beautiful sensorial time with me discovering our beautiful perfumes. So come in, I'll show you a few things. This is Stewart Hall, and Stewart Hall is where we make all the perfumes. All our perfumes are inspired by our beautiful island, from our beautiful botanicals, our trees, the beach, but also from our rhythm of life, our food, and our fun cocktails. I want to show you a few fragrances that we do that are really special, but first, allow me to take you around the perfume a little bit and show you where we make the perfumes. This is our history room, and it's also the oldest part of this 300-year-old house. Stewart Hall is not just a place where we make perfume, it's also a spectacular piece of Bermuda architecture. Visitors love to come and visit this room. There's a small exhibit about the art of perfumery, how perfumes are made. You can smell some raw materials. There's also some old artifacts, memorabilia, and we usually show a short movie about perfumery, how perfumes are made when our visitors come in. So it's fun. So when you come here, you can spend a little time and discover about Bermuda and about our perfumes. Follow me in my garden and we'll go to the perfumery where we make all the perfumes. So this is our perfumery, and this is where I make and age all of our perfumes. We make the perfumes in these big carboys. It's about 100 pounds of perfume at a time, and we really make them as we need them. So perfumes are made of essential oils, and each fragrance typically contains between 50 to 100 different oils that we blend to our own recipe. And what I do is I blend my oils and then I put them in alcohol, and the alcohol dissolves the oils and allows them to blend with each other. And then there's a short few weeks aging process, which I usually let my perfume age about 6 to 8 weeks. And that's where the perfumes really catch their soul, their roundness, and become harmonious. So once that's done, we filter them and we bottle them, and they're ready to enjoy. So the inspiration for my perfume comes from all around the island. We're here on the west end of Bermuda at the National Museum, and there's a few exhibits here really have profoundly inspired a couple of my perfumes. Come, I want to show you around. Commissioner's house is very special, and there's a lot of different rooms with fun exhibits. This one is from Graham Foster, who's a Bermuda artist, and he did murals. The whole room is a mural of the history of Bermuda from the sea venture in 1609 to today. And you can come and spend hours here. And there's a lot of history about Bermuda that is linked to, of course, the trade between England and the United States and Canada and the Caribbean, but also about the farming community that Bermuda was built on. Lots of trade came from Bermuda to feed
the northeast of the United States as well as Canada. I love this room. When Her Majesty the Queen of England visited Bermuda back in 2009 for the 400th anniversary of our island, she came here and she spent a little time, and I think she was really, really impressed with the beauty of this room and all the stories that it tells. It goes on and on and on. This is Gabrielle coming with me to pick up some flowers. Okay. So we're in Somerset here, and I want to take you down that sweetest little road called Tween Walls, as in between the walls. It's probably one of the most quintessential little alley of Bermuda, and I think you can find the most glorious flowers around the island. There's some nasturtia, there's some hibiscus, little baby's breath. It's just breathtaking. Look at this Bermuda cedar tree. And match me if you can. Really, really delightful. And so peaceful. The peacefulness of the island, the gentleness. Everything takes its time. Everything just on 1 minute at a time. Just very, very pretty. The oleander flower is very iconic to Bermuda, and they grow for about, I would say the summer when it's very warm and dry. The oleanders are really, really thriving, and they're very special in Bermuda because to me their smell is quite reminiscent of powdery vanilla white chocolate. It's also quite musky, really, really, but also bright. Like, it's not a heavy, thick type of smell. It's very ethereal, full of brightness. And look how lush they are. You can just walk by them and smell. They're just beautiful. So great to see a beautiful cruise ship Viking on our shores. Amazing. So the side of the road in Bermuda is fantastic. Look at this big bush. This is all wild fennel. You can bring it, put in salads, fish. Beautiful. So this is my favorite spot, and everywhere you just go in Bermuda, things smell and look beautiful. This is fennel that's just growing wild and smelling divine, and this is our national flower, Bermudiana. It's just doing its own thing, growing wild a little bit everywhere, and just being pretty. So we're on the south shore of Bermuda in Southampton, and this is the beautiful golf course of the Southampton Fairmount, and right across from it is the site where the Marie Celestia shipwrecked in 1864. This is a cute little video of Gabrielle with Fido just finishing picking up flowers around the town of St. George's. Fido's really tired. So I'm right here in front of my perfumery in St. George's, and with my daughter Gabrielle we went to do some foraging, what I call foraging. So when you come to Bermuda, you'll come for our beautiful beaches, but the splendid gardens that surround our homes is divine, and it will surprise you. And what's really amazing is that each season smells different and look different in Bermuda. So right now we're in mid-June. Flowers are starting to be quite abundant. The roses are quite done. I have some roses in my garden. They're quite done. Usually the roses is a winter affair in Bermuda. And now it's more the oleanders and all the white flower trees that are in great blooms, the bougainvillea. So I set up a table, and I was thinking we could smell a few things together. And just upload my garden that Gabrielle did while walking through the little streets of St. George's. And look, we have a bee who's come to say hi. So I'll start with what's on the table right here. So this is a beautiful magnolia. It's a Magnolia grandiflora that we picked this morning on our way to work. And there's nothing that smells beautiful than this. It's quite citrusy, floral, a bit milky, and really, really nice. These are, of course, oleanders. The oleanders bloom like big, big, big balloons this time of the year. They smell so powdery and a bit chocolatey. I delight in them. And then in this basket here, this is a leaf basket that I did, you find fig leaves. And fig leaves smell a bit like coconut, earthy mushroom. And you discover the smell when you crush the leaves in your hands. And it's really, really, really delightful. And here's another one of my favorite. These are Suriname cherry leaves. And the redder they are, the woodier and spicier they are. So they smell a bit clovey and a bit like sage. And they're just really, really nice. I love this. It inspired 64 West, which is a men's fragrance. All right, ready to offload this fabulous garden. So this is a typical Bermuda rose. It's really pretty. See, we picked it up about 10 minutes ago, and it's already starting to fade a bit. Melt, yes. These flowers are very happy on their bush as opposed to on a vase. But look at this. It looks a little bit like a yolk. And it's just really, really pretty. I have some jasmine here. Jasmine sambac. And jasmine is really beautiful in the summer Bermuda. The drier the weather is, like, the more it loves it, and it smells divine, especially at nighttime. The smell is nighttime, and early morning is when they really come in their glory. And here, oops, the bee wants to say hi. Here I have some frangipanis. Frangipanis come in many, many colors. So in the USA, you will call these plumeria. And they come in many different colors. They're very popular in Hawaii. And they make the lei out of that. And here we just make beautiful bouquet with them. So this is an Easter lily. And Easter lilies grow wild around Bermuda. And the name Lili Bermuda comes from these beautiful flowers, beautiful trumpet. And they have a very great scent of green flowers with lots of vanilla in it. Really, really nice. We still make Easter lily perfume to this day since 1928. Great, great fragrance. Here's some more roses. Little Bermuda roses. Really, really nice. I have another Bermuda rose here. This one I love. It smells very, very fruity, a bit strawberry-like. Quite delightful. Very tender. What else do we have? Oh, yes, pomegranate. So in Bermuda, around Bermuda, we grow pomegranate as hedge. And I picked this one at the Historical Society. And the bloom is gorgeous by itself. And they're very, very nice. I'm gonna put this one right here. roses. And then these are the ones I call them. These are hibiscus, of course. Hibiscuses, they're so beautiful. They don't need to smell. They're just really, really stunning. And we have so many varieties of hibiscus all around the island. I think the most beautiful garden of hibiscus on the island you'll find at Elbow Beach. Elbow Beach has hundreds of hibiscus all around. And these are lantanas. Every good Bermuda home has nice bushes and hedges of lantanas. They're always very happy. And then, of course, absolutely delightful honeysuckle. So my perfume that I have in my collection called Petals. Petals is inspired by white flowers. So this is beautiful honeysuckle. I absolutely love honeysuckle. They're a little bit tired now, but they still smell really, really divine. And my fragrance that I have in my collection, Petals. Petals is my white flower perfume, and I love it. I have a nice orange flower tree in my garden that just finished blooming, but Petals is really orange flower, honeysuckle, and Bermuda jasmine. And it's just a really pretty, lush floral bouquet. Really nice. I like to say it smells like a Bermuda bride. You know how Bermuda brides are very, very feminine and gorgeous. And that's totally my perfume, Petals. Paula's starting to serve tea in the garden. We'll have tea in a bit. Next are bougainvillea. Bougainvillea is another one of those spectacular flower that we have that doesn't have to smell anything. They're just really, really pretty. They're just magnificent. They come in so many colors, and they're lush, they're happy, and they grow pretty much all year round. Really, really nice. And then here's some elderflower for your afternoon cocktail with some nice ice cubes and club soda. That will be really, really nice. And of course, the bird of paradise. That's probably one of the last flower we picked. Birds of paradise, they don't smell anything, of course, but again, they're very quintessential of, you know, magnificent, exotic beauty of the island. I have them around my garden and I love them. They're just very happy, and they make fabulous floral arrangements. All right, and finally, as you know, an amazing species we have on the island is our iconic Bermuda cedar, which all the homes in Bermuda are built with Bermuda cedar. It's a fabulous, very durable wood. It smells divine, and I actually extract the Bermuda cedar oil here at the perfumery. Of course, I use cedar a lot in my men's colognes. I use it a lot with the Suriname, with the fig leaves, a little bit of jasmine. Sometimes a flower in a men's cologne gives it a lot of great character. So that's pretty much it. I think that what's left in my baskets, both of them, besides the bee, is the beautiful vine. We call these coralitas, and the coralitas grow wild, and you can't cultivate them. They just decide to move in when the garden looks good enough, and they're just very, very happy. So I hope you enjoyed my flower showcase. And now Paula will serve us tea in our garden, surrounded with our flowers.
So the Marie Celestia shipwreck is a very popular diving site. So if you are an avid diver, You will love Bermuda. There's over 300 shipwrecks around the island that you can dive. The Murray Celestia is definitely one of the most popular one. So we recreated the fragrance to what it smelled when it sank 150 years ago, and I'm gonna smell it right here. So think back 1864. This fragrance was made by a perfumer in London called Septimus Pies, and he had a partner called Lubin. And think about 1864. Back in those days, perfumery was not in Paris yet. It was still really fully in London. And it was on New Bond Street. And perfume back in those days was worn not to beautify yourself as much as to really cover from the stench of walking in the really smelly streets of London. So you wore perfume on your cape, on your gloves, on your scarf, and you covered your nose as you were walking by. So it was really meant to protect yourself. So, you know, and that was far before Coty or Guerlain told you that ladies should wear flowers and men should wear woody fragrances. So this is unisex, very fresh, refreshing, uplifting, and very simple, easy wear. It's made with some orange flower, with some neroli, wood, rosewood mainly, as well as grapefruit. There's a really nice grapefruit on top of this, and some musk and a bit of amber. So it's very fresh and lovely. Unusual, very different from other fragrances in my collection. So I do this as an eau de parfum, and for the 10th anniversary of the recovery of the fragrance, we have a limited edition where it's in a genuine Bermuda cedar box. And the metal that ornates the bottle is the replica of a $30 gold coin that was made by the Bermuda Royal Mint to commemorate the shipwreck of the Murray Celestia. There's a few fragrances I'd like to talk to you about. I know you can't smell them from where you are, but I can entice you maybe to want to smell them when you come on the island. So what's really special about Bermuda is how each season really smells differently. And I say that over and over because it's an amazing feature. So if you've been here in the month of June, you gotta come back in the month of February. Especially to smell our Bermuda freesia and our Bermuda roses. And that's the story of Coral. I did Coral. Coral was my first fragrance for Lili Bermuda. I did that many years ago now. And you know what? It's my first fragrance for the perfumery and still the most popular one. And Coral's aspiration is spring, so it's a rebirth. And it's beautiful. It's fruity. It has some clementine, a bit of ginger. But what's magical about this, it's that spring freesia and rosa card that is really, really beautiful. So for ladies' fragrances, I love to work with Bermuda roses, Bermuda flowers, but for men, I love to work with cedar notes as well as citruses. Two fragrances I'd like to talk about is 32 degrees north and 64 degrees west, which represent the latitude and longitude of Bermuda. And so 32 north is the sailing side of the island. It's the latitude and it's the sporty, fresh, quite manly and adventurous. And then 64 west, the longitude, is a little more serious. So this one is the business side of our island. Bermuda cedar, a bit of sage, a bit of grapefruit, more aromatic and definitely a little more grown up. So these are two really, really special fragrances. Finally, so what inspires my fragrances is of course the botanicals, but also our beautiful beaches and our lifestyle. And for that, I want to talk about saltwater. So for those of you who like things that are a little more fruity, a little less serious, Salt water is a lot of fun. It's also unisex. And this one smells like beach. So notes of coconut milk, guava, sea salt. It smells a bit like a pina colada, and it's perfect for a casual afternoon browsing around the alleys of St. George's.